Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Colin. I'm going to try not to mess up this time. Oh, God. So I'm here to continue my series, The Good, the Bad, the Gray, and the Anti-Hero. And yes, I'm doing a villain. It's not so much to label the person as bad. Certainly he is that. The character is bad to the bone. And he's really the first big boss fight feel that you get in Dark Shadows, not taking anything away from Nicholas Blair, which I'm going to get into that here a bit. And I'm talking about Count Andreas Petofi from 1897. Dark Shadows, we've seen some supernatural entities. We've seen the Phoenix. Well, we've seen Josette's ghost first. We've seen the Phoenix. I'll try to go in order. Barnabas is a vampire, but Barnabas is also human too. I mean, he can be killed. Um, the Phoenix can only be contained. That's the one thing I take away. The Phoenix can't necessarily be killed off. She could be contained, but she's eventually going to come back. Barnabas can be killed. So the next real entity, I guess you would say you would see, could you classify Angelique as an entity? Angelique, so I would say yes, because I don't feel you can just outright kill Angelique as a witch. Yes, she's born of a mother and father, but this just sort of gets into Petofe land too. She's born she's born with powers. Angelique was, to me, I don't, again, I don't hate the Judah Zachary storyline. I love it. It's really good. The only thing I don't like is the Miranda Duvall thing. If you love that thing, great. I'm happy for you. I don't love the Miranda Duvall thing. I just feel that's like, really, I don't feel sorry for Angelique. No, like, would I have left her on Martinique if I would have been Barnabas? God, no, no, no. Have you seen Angelique? Seen how hot that woman is? Just saying. Um, going to hell. So, no, I would not have left this beautiful hot blonde. Just wouldn't. Remember how Padme shows up in this smoking hot black dress? Let me tell you something. I'd have been Anakin Skywalker. I'd have been ditching a. Let's just get the fuck out of here. I'd have been ditching a lightsaber. Let's just go. Let's just go. Okay. Oh my god. So I'm trying not to lose focus. Sorry. The next real entity you see, you know, is you do see Frankenstein's monster, but you also see a warlock and named Nicholas Blair. Now, I've said that Petofe is the first big fight feel. Angelique and Nicholas are more mini bosses. They're not the big boss. But here's my thing though too with that, with Nicholas. I love Humphrey Allen Alstrader's Nicholas Blair. It is a great character. But every time I go back and watch Dark Shadows, I always get the feeling that Nicholas was supposed to be a bigger character than what he was. That Nicholas maybe was supposed to bring up the devil if things got bad. And because a group complained about them showing the devil, here's what gets me. I love Dark Shadows. They showed a kid dying for God's sake, and like I know you could say, well, we know Sarah's gonna die anyway. We meet her ghost first. I agree, but here's the thing: they still show her dying. To me, that's like worse than showing the devil because it's like, it's just speaking as a parent, it's like, holy shit, they just killed a kid. It's like people ask me, why can't you forgive Angelique? She killed a kid. Like her curse killed a kid. Um, that's why I can't forgive her. Why can't I forgive her? God, she killed a kid. Um, you could disagree if you want. It's just how I feel. So sorry, this is all funny to me. I'm having fun. So I always feel with Nicholas that because they pull back on the Diablo stuff, and they have to pull back, that Nicholas Nicholas isn't going to be as big as of a character as to me what he should have been. I do feel he's a big character. I do feel he gives off a boss like feel, but because they have to pull back on the Diablo stuff, he's more of a mini boss. So I love the character. He's really cool. I've said he's the warlock you want to hang out with, but he also does some sinister shit too. Again, he's not to be taken lightly. Even though again they do pull back on the Diablo stuff, and I want to. This sort of makes me jump to Petofi. I've talked about how we've seen supernatural creatures, right? Angelique is born of a mother and father. So is Petofi. But here's the thing: what we learned with Angelique, what we learned with Petofi, what we learned with Nicholas, there are creatures who you aren't just going to get rid of so easily, that can literally live forever because of their power. And they're not, they are flesh and blood, but they're not just flesh and blood, if you get what I'm saying. There's more to them because of their powers. There's a lot of eternal feel, or supernatural feel, if you will. So Patofe, who when he does show up, he has henchmen. He has Aristique. Later on, you're going to find out he has Charles Delaware Tate. So he has his own agents, his own spies among people. Also, and also, he poses as somebody else. He doesn't pose as himself. And he's been posing as this guy for years that he's been posing as. And it's like, holy shit, this dude, once you realize who he is and you find out who he is, it's like, man, this dude is slick. And he really is the first big boss fight you get in Dark Shadows. And it's a hell of a one. I mean, it's a very much back and forth battle. And really, the one thing this also sort of introduces to, well, not sort of, it does introduce, though you don't necessarily see the war between the two of them, you get a sense that there was one. There was a war between Petofi and the Gypsies. It's why the Gypsies have the hand of Petofi to begin with. It's because they cut it off because they said, okay, we'll remove the curse if we can have your hand. You can't have your hand. And he goes, okay. I mean, keep in mind, Petofi is of the mindset of eventually he'll get this back. Eventually he's going to find a way to get his hand back. I mean, he's already killed the one thing he loved the most as a werewolf, and that was a unicorn. And it gives a sense of how old not just Petofi is, but the Gypsies are as well. That the Gypsies have been around a long, long time. So here's Petofi, who owned a unicorn, which was cool. It just makes the character all the more cooler. Like, if the character wasn't cool already, he's even more cooler now than what he was. He had the unicorn. Um, and really, because there was this big war between the Gypsies and Petofi, the Gypsies cannot stand Count Petofi. They fear him. They are afraid of him, but they're not afraid to do battle with him. They fear his power. But here's the thing. Here's the counterpoint of that. Petofi knows the power of the Gypsies. He not just the turning into the werewolf. He knows all the other shit in between. And he's as much afraid of them as they are him. And I love that. That whether Thayer David realized he was doing that or not, I'm sure he did, is so fucking awesome. It really is. It gives you a sense of, okay, even though this dude has powers, he knows there's these other people who he's done battle with, who's had powers, and he does not. The Gypsies are the reason he does not want to stick around in 1897. He figures if he can go to the future, if he can jump ahead, he'll have a jump start on him. At least there, they won't know who he is, especially if he can go in Quentin Collins' body. Because Quentin isn't, can't turn into the werewolf anymore because of the portrait. You know, it's all the more reason you're going, man, this dude is one evil son of a bitch. And he is. I mean, he is so bad to the bone. I mean, he's bad of the bad. Although Judah Zachary does top him. You know, Gordon brought up a great point. Could Petofe be an underling of Judah? He could be. You know, shout out to Gordon. He really could be. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know. You know, but I will say this: the Gypsies are so focused on Petofe, so they don't really focus on Judah. Um, and you know, with good reason. Keep in mind. I mean, it's not because you can't take your eyes off Petofe and turn to another entity that you don't know is around or not. You have to focus on Petofe once you realize Petofe is around. Because keep in mind, when King Johnny Romano gets killed, I don't feel King Johnny Romano is ever really gone. I just feel that another Romano just takes his place. And maybe it's the spirit of that Romano. Maybe that's the trick of the gypsies, too. And Petofe knows it. Keep in mind, even though Romano's dead, Petofe still wants to leave. He doesn't want to stick around. Why? Because he knows they're a threat. Um, and I don't think it's as simple as he has the hand, he can wipe them out. Keep in mind, the hand has been detached from Petofe so long, he doesn't have full control over it. And I think, again, the hand itself is dangerous. And I think if anybody ever gets it and gets full control over that thing, there's going to be hell to pay, man. And there really is. I mean, the hand, Petofe's hand is its own entity. And Petofe did have control over that thing at one point in time, so it's scary to think that. That's why the gypsies knew he was so dangerous because of that hand, and they wanted that hand. Um, it's one thing the hand could not do. The hand, Petofe couldn't force the hand to remove the curse, but the gypsies did. The gypsies removed it with his hand, which is interesting. I sort of that's the one thing I'll question. Did they honestly use his hand? Everyone says they did, so I gotta say they did. Um, so again, you get the sense that there was a war between the Gypsies and Batofe, and that war he wants to continue that onslaught as soon as he gets control of this hand fully. Even though he has it, he still has trouble using it, which I love. Because hey, why should he be able to just wield it? I'll say this: to me, when the hand at first he tries to transfer the power of the hand over with him to Quentin. Notice how that doesn't last too long. I think that's the hand telling him like, no, no, like no, dude, like we're over here. I'm with this body. You're not. No, I just got on this body. You're not forcing me onto another body. The hand is very fickle. I mean, it's as fickle as its owner. It's both have a strong will. Yes, a hand has a will, goddammit, and it's strong. But Petofe has a will of his own too. To me, this is one of the greatest Dark Shadows villains ever, and he's my favorite villain, and with reason, obviously, because he's so interesting. Um, yeah, if the sequel series happens, I hope to see Petofe eventually, not right away, obviously, but hopefully. So I do think that with 1897, with Petofe, you might say, well, why was Petofe scared of Barnabas? No. Was Petofe scared of Angelique? And there seems to be a hesitancy for him to mess with Angelique. I'll tell you why I think that is. You know, keep in mind, if Petofe knows that there's gypsies around, if he knows that there's a witch around, a vampire, who else does he know might be? Diablos. I gotta believe that in the back of Petofe's mind, he knows Angelique's now here. He knows this witch is here, and he's thinking, huh, if there's a witch here, Diablos isn't too far off. So he's probably trying to determine, well, if I mess with this girl, if I retaliate against her, is her master coming for me? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna have issues. You gotta respect the power structure of Count Petofi. If this is, I do believe this was the thought process too of Petofi, because and really you got to respect that thought process because if the character has already shown how smart he is, he knows not only when to engage a battle, he knows when to finally fight a battle. He knows when to pick his spots. So again, he's always doing that in 1897, and that's how he's very successful with Barnabas. And again with Angelique. By the time he does mess with Angelique, he's sort of determined, okay, Diablos isn't going to come out of hell and fight me fine. He doesn't know why, but, and I just think Diablos himself is like, my, my minion's got you, don't worry. She's resourceful. I know. That's what that is. So, and she is. Angelique's very resourceful, man. She doppelgangered herself and Barnabas. My God. So, I mean, this is just the best big boss fight feel prior to Judah Zachary. And, you know, I always wondered how were they going to top Count Petofe by introducing Judah Zachary. That's how they top. That's how they top that. And what a sequence it is! Holy shit! I look. I like the Leviathan arc. It's good, but I feel at times that doesn't top. They do a lot of great things here with the Leviathans, so it doesn't top Petofe. And again, I feel is does the Leviathan arc suffer because it's coming off one of the greatest arcs ever? No, because I do think they tell a good story. I do think the build of the Leviathan arc is really well done and really well crafted. Um, it's not poorly done or poorly written. It's not even poorly performed. Um, I guess I would ask this, and maybe somebody can answer this. From an effect standpoint, what were they going for? They when you look up Leviathan, Leviathan is a sea serpent. So is that what they're going for? Or is that something they're trying to pull off from an effect standpoint and not able to? I feel that sort of, and again, I don't think it's, could they have pulled it off? Again, I don't know. Maybe they were wanting to pull it off and couldn't. I do feel though, my favorite thing I've said is the breathing because again, there's a big world feel here with the Leviathans. They're trying to portray that this is as big, if not bigger, than Petofe, which is great. That's what you should want to do. And I'll say this: before Anakin Skywalker became this moody teenager who wanted to dominate the world, Jeb Hawks was a moody, horny teenager who, well, Oh, God bless Christopher Pinnock. What a performance he gives as Jeb Hawks. Oh my God, great actor, great actor. But I think when you look back to Petofe, he's really the first big boss fight feel. But even after Petofe, they still try to say, "Hey, there's other big bosses coming from Dark Shadows." Really a great character, and he does everything. We thought he killed Barnabas, for God's sakes. We thought he staked the man. We thought he was done for. Well, pansy face stakes him, but we thought Barnabas was done for. or we thought Barnabas was done. Oh no, and no, he's not done. What a sequence! I mean, God, you thought Petofe was victorious, right? You thought this was over. It ain't ever over until it's over, son. What a character. What a character. And to sort of close us off, I think the best thing that they do with Petofi, and me and Gordon were talking about this with our 1897. The best thing you can do with a big boss when you're wrapping up a big boss fight is not conclude it, but leave people wondering, where is he? And that's exactly what they do with Count Andreas Petofi. They show the glasses, there's no him, there's no hand. That hand's indestructible. So where the hell did they go? They're not dead. It's not over. And I think that's the best thing they did with him at the end. It's beautifully done. The writers, God, geniuses, fucking geniuses. Sorry for the language, but they were. Um, First of all, thank you guys for entertaining. Listening to me ramble. You guys entertain me as much as I entertain you because I love you guys. Thank you guys so much, guys and gals, for listening to this video. Hope you guys have a great day.